I'm Dustin Harder, and this is Keep On Cooking. Hello, and welcome to Keep On Cooking, the only podcast dedicated to plant-based cookbooks. I'm your host, Dustin Harder, and I'm high-flying adored, flying solo here on my Rainbow Tour. For those of you that understand those references, I will say I just watched Evita, the Madonna Evita movie. I mean, I guess if I say I watched it, you wouldn't be guessing I watched Patti LuPone perform it in my living room. I watched the Madonna version, which is the only movie version, while I was recipe testing some stuff the other day, which has been a nice addition as we've moved homes. The New York, I had a very secluded, tiny kitchen where I recipe tested. It was a lot of headphones or blasting Britney Spears or Fifth Harmony very loudly without headphones and making David crazy. And then in our last place, when we first got to Atlanta, I had a TV that I could see, but it was sort of like around a corner. But if I cooked in just the right spot, I could see the TV. And it was a lot of Mary Tyler Moore. I watched the whole Mary Tyler Moore season while I was recipe testing Epic Vegan Quick and Easy, because I'd never watched it all the way through. And now I do a mixture of everything. I'll put headphones in, I'll turn music on, or I will turn the TV on, which is like right in front of me because our kitchen and our living room area are connected. And that is a little glimpse. There you go into the recipe testing soundtrack of my life. But I'm flying solo today, here to talk about this book, Vegan Food Gifts, more than 100 inspired recipes for homemade baked goods, preserves, and other edible gifts everyone will love. And this is by the one and only Joni Marie Newman. Let's hear it for Joni Marie Newman. Listen, she's going to be a guest on this podcast coming up later this year. So I'm super excited to have her on. But in the middle of trying to get in touch with her and schedule everything, I had already decided I was going to do this book, this Vegan Food Gifts. So I'm going to do it because we're going to talk about a different book when she's on. She's going to be on later this year to talk about her popular book. She has many, the best veggie burgers on the planet, because there's a revised and updated version that came out a few years ago. It's got more than 100 plant-based recipes for vegan burgers, fries, and more. So we'll get into her history with cooking and writing books. I think she's literally written about a dozen cookbooks, and she runs the food blog justthefood.com. We'll get into all that when she's here, so we can get the information directly from the source, as opposed to me giving you a sorted tale right now. So today I'm going to share with her one of her books that I think this is absolutely charming. Vegan Food Gifts, and it is so practical and useful. I got this a couple months ago, and honestly, I can't wait for the holidays to get here so I can like dig into this and make some lovely gifts for people. This book it hits for me because I'm always wanting to give vegan stuff as gifts, always and forever. David's in a show right now, and I didn't do it this time, but I usually make cupcakes for the end of the run, at the beginning of the run, just to be like, here's cupcakes. Oh, by the way, they're vegan, you know. I didn't do it this time for self-preservation. I'm working on a new book now, and at the end of recipe testing yesterday, I was like, okay, now it's time for the cupcakes. And I was like, Dustin, nobody has put this standard on you but yourself. You can release this. You don't have to make the cupcakes this time around. Nobody's expecting them. Nobody thinks it's going to happen. So like, you're literally not letting anyone down if you don't do it. So I decided not to make them, though I love making cupcakes and vegan gifts for people, especially people who are not vegan, right? It's so great to give somebody like a cookie mix that you handmade that's vegan, and you give it to them. You just say, hey, you know, put water in this or whatever, and it's good to go. You can bake it off with some instructions maybe. And this book is chock full of all sorts of items like that. We're going to get into it. And homemade gifts are just such a nice touch, right? Like, how thoughtful when someone gets a gift from you and they can tell you just put some love into it and it was made with your own two hands. I think that's such a beautiful thing, as long as it has to be aesthetically pleasing as well. That's how I feel about homemade gifts, because then you just, oh, the joy of a homemade gift, right? And when it looks pretty and it's functional or it's delicious, all the things, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. You can impress your family, friends, neighbors, guests, anyone with homemade gifts that you can feel good about and others will love with this book, Vegan Food Gifts. From mouthwatering vegan baking mixes you can create, package, and label yourself to DIY gift baskets, preserves, liqueurs, and more, you'll find that perfect something for everyone, no matter what their views or inclinations. No one can say no to a vegan chocolate chip cookie or a chocolate chip cookie at all. After all, am I saying, am I right? Vegan Food Gifts shows you how easy it is to create great homemade gifts that are not only kind and eco-conscious, but delicious too. So whether you are an expert chef or a beginner cook, a crafty genius, or someone without an artistic bone in their own body, you'll find projects that not only suit your skills, but your budget too. Be the hit of the bake sale, the darling of the holidays, the hostess with the mostest, and more with Vegan Food Gifts. And I will say, when I was talking earlier and I was saying, as long as it looks pretty, what I meant to say by that is this book helps you make it look pretty. Joni helps you get the aesthetic on point here. So you're not just like, here's this thing I sort of kind of glued together and it's a mess of glue and paper. You can present something that is thoughtful and also looks amazing as well, thanks to Joni in this book. Chapter 1 is Cut Along the Dotted Lines. Easy peasy packaging ideas and basics. I feel this book goes above and beyond, because from the beginning, and this is often the part I panic over when I'm doing a DIY gift, and it's sort of figuring out how to package the item that I made, right? Or sometimes I'll have to buy a large quantity of little gift boxes that I need or something when I only needed like 10 and it came in a 50 pack or something. So it's really frustrating. This chapter has instructions and templates for basic folding techniques, from a super simple no glue gift bag to handmade cupcake and muffin liners, loaf pans, boxes, recipe books, and it goes even further with illustrated gift tags, potluck tent cards, and recipe cards. I love it so much. And when I look at the boxes, there's boxes for truffles in here, window treat boxes, the little boxes with like the plastic window in them where you can see the treats. And there's even a makeshift loaf pan. So a loaf pan that you make out of paper that you can actually bake the loaf in, and then you can wrap that up directly and give it to the person, the recipient, wrapped in paper essentially, in a nice paper loaf pan. How lovely is that? And there's pages full of recipe cards, gift tags, labels, and potluck table tents. You can scan them or photocopy them. There's these pages in there where you can literally just like scan it, photocopy it, and then you can cut it out. So you could even print it on like a nice card stock or something. And I love me a handwritten recipe too. So I love that there's recipe cards. I mean, I don't have any beyond maybe a couple that my mother-in-law have given me, but I kind of love those. Like I see her handwriting, and my mother-in-law is great, by the way. Shout out Mama Pat. She, whenever we visit, she always makes sure there's some vegan treats. She takes care of us. She takes care of us on the vegan front. It is lovely. And she'll have like, one of the recipes I remember is she had this, my sister-in-law does it too, now that I think of it, because I have sent them both, after a visit, I'll be like, oh, can I get the recipe to such and such? And they literally send me a picture of a recipe card. So I love it. I love recipe cards. I love the idea of them. I love that they get handed down to other people. It's just so great to me. Maybe I need to start a little recipe box collection. I can do it with these recipe cards in here. Look at that. Well, and the next chapter is Ready to Gift, delicious gifts ready for immediate enjoyment. We love that. Let's read the beginning of this chapter, see what it says. This chapter is where you find all the recipes needed to put together delicious, ready-to-eat treats, from chocolate chip cookies to lemon poppy seed cakes to peanut butter truffles packed in pretty homemade boxes. Almost every recipe comes with a suggestion for packaging, so you can go forth and create delectable endowments that will wow the gifted, not only with their delicious flavors, but also with the undoubtedly delightful handmade touch. Fantastic. So let's see what we got. Cranberry walnut oatmeal cookies, peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I mean, really, cookies, cupcakes, baked goods win everyone over. Everyone. And there's still people to this day. I know if you're listening to this podcast, you've been vegan for a long time, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, everyone knows like a vegan cookie is delicious. Let me tell you, that's just not the truth. People still have, and I have to remind myself this constantly, people still have so many stigmas about vegan food and it tasting bad. When I did a university tour with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine earlier, or in late 2022, we always handed out cookie samples to sort of bring people to our table. It's nice you have food to give them, right? And then we were able to talk about nutrition with them and the different elements of a plant-based diet. But we would give them a cookie and let them try it. And everyone was always like, wait, what? It's vegan? Wait, what? It's gluten free? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, this tastes like a regular chocolate chip cookie. And we were like, we know, yo. So trust believe there are still people out there who think that vegan food does not taste good. Amazingly ambitious sugar cookies. Let's see what she says. What makes these ambitious? Seriously, is there anything a good sugar cookie can't do? Joni, I feel you, girl. This recipe is for basic sugar cookie dough plus a couple of fun things to do with it. So, chocolate dippers where you dip them in chocolate. Love that. Holiday cutouts. So, way to, instructions on cutting them out for the holidays. I love this. A couple little fun things to do there. Orange chocolate Linzer cookies. Oh my gosh. Linzer cookies with all this powdered sugar and chocolate in the middle. Shortbread fingers. Those look delicious. Cute little box there. S'mores brownies. Girl. I have a recipe for s'mores brownies in my epic vegan book, but mine are spiced s'mores brownies. But that just goes to show you. Great minds. Come on, Joni. Great minds think alike. S'mores brownie. And I love the photos in here. She shows you the s'mores brownie on a plate here, but then she also shows it individually wrapped. I'm showing it on the screen if you're watching by any chance. She also shows it individually wrapped. I guess if you're watching, I don't need to tell you that I'm showing it to you because you're watching me show it to you. She shows it on the plate, but then she also shows it individually wrapped. So you're seeing it sort of in action there in terms of like how it can be packaged, which is lovely. Pot brownies, but it's not what you think. It's brownies in a little flower pot with these little crafty flowers sticking out of it. How cute, how adorable. How adorable. Good morning muffins in a parchment paper with a little twine around it. Espresso chocolate chip loaves, single loaves wrapped in some parchment paper. Lemon poppy seed cakes. Love a lemon poppy seed. Pumpkin chocolate chip loaf. Cannot go wrong with that. Banana nut bread, simply fluffy frosting, cake truffles, plain vanilla cake. So she's hooking you up with some basics in here as well. Peanut butter balls. It's delicious peanut butter with powdered sugar, rolled into balls, and then dipped in melted chocolate. And then the chocolate seizes. It's basically a little Reese's peanut butter cup, essentially, is what it is. Saltine butter toffee. Oh, so I used to not be big on like peanut brittle and toffee. And over the last couple of years, I've been shown the light. And I love it. So this saltine. So this is saltine crackers, non-dairy butter, evaporated cane juice, or sugar. So really, this is just the saltine crackers with butter and sugar and then chocolate and chopped nuts. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. There's chocolate bark in here. Chocolate bark makes a lovely gift. Last Christmas, I did my 12 treats of Christmas on Instagram, and we did a peppermint bark on there that went over really well. Candied citrus peels, old-fashioned mashed potato candy. What is that? Yep, candy made from mashed potatoes, she says. Actually, there's so much more sugar. There's so much sugar in these. No one would ever guess that you made them from mashed potatoes. This is an old family recipe that has been passed down for generations. It's naturally vegan, so no substitutes were necessary. Plus, it's a fun way to use up your leftover mashers. For years, my mom and I have been making it according to the following recipe. Mix powdered sugar with mashed potatoes to form a dough. Roll out the dough and spread on peanut butter, roll up and slice. That's really all you need to know. You can use instant mashed potatoes for these too. This batch uses almost 6 pounds of powdered sugar. Wow, 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 wow. So she's not right. There's a lot of sugar in here, y'all. But I have never heard of old-fashioned mashed potato candy. I am intrigued. I am curious. So in all these recipes at the bottom, she's got like a little tag and it says gift it. And she gives you parameters on great ways to gift it. So this says gift it. Wrap each piece individually in a square of wax paper and twist the ends to seal. Package in pretty window treat boxes, page 16, or double pocket gift bags, page 13, and add a pretty hang tag, page 30 through 33. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. This book's really hooking it up. If you are somebody who is crafty but kind of just needs like some inspo and a little guidance in that direction, this book is really giving you some tried and true recipes and ways to package it up and give it as a gift, which I love. Sea salt caramels. Oh my gosh. Candied nuts. Candied nuts are a great one. I give those to the neighbors every year at Christmas. So maybe I'll be getting into this recipe, though I do make my sister-in-law's recipe every year. Hold on. Having a sip of coffee. We know on a solo show, it's going to take me a second. Got to have my sip. So Candied Nuts. I was saying my sister-in-law. So I was talking about those recipe cards, right? My sister-in-law. So a couple of years ago, she came for Christmas. She made these candy nuts that were delicious, and then I think we made some together. I took them into work. Everyone went crazy over them. It's when I worked at this place here in Atlanta. And then this last year, I was like, "Can you send me the recipe?" And she did, and it was a picture of a card that I think her mom had written the recipe on, and I just love that. And I was able to make those for David, and I made them for our neighbors. So I love there's a candied nuts recipe in here because you can really everyone loves them. And the holidays, it's a great time. And sure, you can go buy a canister of them, but this is going to be more cost effective for you to make it this way. Go buy yourself some nuts in bulk, and you probably have all the spices on hand, and then make these up and then bag them up, and then you made them yourself. And I just love it so much. um Twigs and berries, Trabuco Canyon Magic Dust. This recipe was developed by Karen Balthasar at the Big B Ranch here in Trabuco Canyon, California. It yields huge batch, so now you can make lots of gifts at once. Feel free to cut it down as needed. Karen also says you can fuss around with the amounts to suit your taste, but I don't know what it is. It looks sort of like it's got some interesting stuff in it. So this is a savory. It's a savory because it's got salt, garlic, pepper, onion, cayenne, white pepper, celery, and dry parsley. Okay. So maybe I wonder if it says how. Oh, it says you can use. I see. Okay. So this is just a magic, like a seasoning you would give as a gift. So I love that little. You can use it as a rub. She says on tofu, tempeh, or seitan. So okay, I see. That's great. Look at that. Even savory little treats to give there. Groovy granola. Granola is a great gift. Let's see. Now we're on chapter 3. Just add water. Just add water. So that probably is exactly what it says, but let's read the header here. Make at-home gift mixes for anytime assembly. This chapter is full of recipes for make-it-yourself gifts that your giftee can assemble whenever they choose. There are cookie and cake mixes layered into mason jars. Cake mixes. Like the sand art of decades past, you'll also find soup mixes, hot and cold drinks mixes, and even a mix for instant mac and cheese. Come on now with the instant mac and cheese. One of the best things about the gifts in this chapter is the shelf life, too. So often we give baked goods as gifts, but baked goods need to be gifted and consumed right away. So true. These, on the other hand, can be made ahead of time, and the receiver can save them for the perfect occasion to prepare. How much do we love that? So what do we have in chapter 3? The Just Add Water chapter. Instant sweet lemon iced tea mix. Yes. Instant mocha mix. Double chocolate chip cookie mix. Fudgy brownie mix. Strawberry pineapple orange cake mix. Blueberry oatmeal chocolate chip cookie mix. Now, how do you do that? Are we doing dehydrated, freeze-dried blueberries? Look at that. So we can not mess with the shelf life there. Strawberry pineapple orange cake mix. Did I say that one yet? How delicious does that sound? Strawberry pineapple orange cake mixed. And again, we're looking at the freeze-dried strawberries and freeze-dried pineapple, for instances like this. Sweet cornbread muffin mix, brown sugar and cinnamon oatmeal with raisin mix, chocolate chip pancake mix, cranberry muffin mix, Southwestern 3-bean soup mix. So we're getting into some soups here. Hearty pasta soup with chicken mix. Come on. That's amazing. And she's using soy curls or large chunks of TVP in this. So it's a jar full of a bunch of wonderful, delicious things, including pasta and soy curls and TVP that you can just add water to and make soup. That's so great. Cheesy potato soup mix, masala soup mix, instant macaroni and cheese. I love this. Miyoko's got one of these in her handmade pantry cookbook. I made it a couple times. It was good. We actually had her on. I had a little series once. So on my YouTube channel, The Vegan Roadie, we had a little offshoot called "Oh My God, That's Vegan," and she was on when her handmade vegan pantry cookbook came out, and she did the one pot mac and cheese, or it was craft one pot. No, it wasn't one pot. It was this. She's got a mix in there, and it's called like well-crafted mac and cheese, I think, but it's like this where it's a mix. But I love this because this is giving us you make this mix, you give it in a jar, and then you've got instructions on it on how to use it, and you're basically giving them several servings, it looks like, in one jar that they're able to make the sauce with. So I love that. Fruity curried rice pilaf mix, TVP taco meat mix, chipotle ranch dressing mix. I mean, come on. So, and this tells you, so you're going to put all this dry stuff for the chipotle ranch dressing mix, and you'll have a dry mix, but then they just have to, oh wait, let's see. And they make this blend taste great right out of the jar, sprinkled on salads or pasta, or even mixed into veggie burgers. Ooh, that sounds good. When prepared, it makes a great salad dressing or dip for veggies or chips. So for salad dressing, 2 tablespoons with 1 cup vegan mayonnaise, unsweetened non-dairy milk, and lemon juice. So it gives you instructions in here. So I guess you'd tell the person you give it to, you'd give them maybe, oh, I see. She's got, look at that. It's on a recipe card. So she's written the instructions for this on a recipe card. So what you could potentially do is photocopy this page with this recipe card, and that's what you give to the giftee. How genius is that? So she's already made it a variation for you where you literally, you don't have to go, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go print these. I'm gonna have to type these instructions on. I'm gonna have to print them out for the person I'm giving it to. No, I can photocopy this, cut it right out, hand it to him, and I can put it on some nice card stock. You know, I can do the dang thing. Fajita and taco seasoning mix. Oh, so great season mixes in here too. I love this. And this takes us into our next chapter. Chapter 4 is called A Tisket, a Tasket, a Yummy Vegan Basket. These are themed gift baskets. And this chapter is more than how to put together the ultimate foodie gift basket. It's more about how to think outside the basket. Some of the best food gifts aren't even packaged in baskets. Rather, they are put together in meaningful, useful vessels such as colanders, ice buckets, storage boxes, mixing bowls, and boxes. But even more important than the vessel is the stuff you put inside it. Anyone can grab a bunch of stuff from the market, put it in a basket, throw a ribbon on it, and call it done. But when you really put some thought into it and make some, if not most, of the contents from scratch, well, the love shines through, and that everyday gift is transformed into something really special. I could not agree more, Joni. These are Joni's words. And why I'm drawn to this book, because I just really think that DIY gifts are very special. I love it. Is something I love very much that I don't think I've always mastered. I don't think I've been very good at it, to be honest. So that's why I love this book for guidance, because I get the only thing I'm really good at, and we already talked about it, is those cupcakes. I've got to go cupcake containers for days so I can make some cupcakes on the fly, load them up, and take them somewhere. But when it comes to these jarred items and the seasonings and the baked goods, I sort of falter in how to package them and get them to people in a very aesthetically pleasing way. So really, this is a therapy episode for myself. I'm going to work through this, and I'm going to make beautiful gifts come 2024, or by the end of 2023 for the holiday season. It's going to happen. A funny story about these and gifts and DIY gifts and myself. For our wedding, we were on a budget, and we were getting married in New York. So we did a great job, and we partnered with a lot of people to work on different things and collaborate on different things. So that was very cost effective. But we wanted to have something special for those that were really close to us and helped us out in planning and everything. So we put together like a goodie bag. And last minute, I decided, I was like, I'm going to put together like a spicy hot chocolate, Mexican hot chocolate, essentially, and put it into jars and DIY it. And that way they've got this nice like hot cocoa mix. Nobody... Normally people say, oh my gosh, Dustin, I loved this XYZ food thing, right? Not one person has commented on that hot cocoa since the wedding, which leads me to believe it kind of was not a home run. I remember, like, I didn't have my own recipe. I was trying to test one, but I was also like planning a wedding, so I was losing my mind a little bit. So I think also the finished product probably didn't like taste the best, and like my aesthetic, I was like, oh, I've got all these mason jars, I'll put it in here, but like it was all kind of off. I didn't have matching lids, my labels were all wonky. Anyways, so it was like something I thought was going to be, oh, this will be quick and easy and simple and a nice little personal touch in the bag. I don't think it really went over well. So I could have used this book to point me in the right direction, because I bet there's something just like that in here. And she says this Tisket, a Tasket, a Yummy Vegan Basket is divided into 7 sections, each one containing recipes and projects to put together some amazing food-themed gifts. We love a theme. Whether you need to put together a sweet gift for the chocolate lover in your life, a game day smorgasbord for the football fanatic, or a party pack for a girls' margarita night, she's got you covered. Come on, Joni. All right, so we got the chocolate lovers gift basket, brownie bites, chocolate covered caramel nut clusters. Oh my gosh, instant hot cocoa mix, chocolate chip cookies, black and white drop cakes. Then we've got the margarita party bucket. Oh my god, so cute with little bucket. Ah, it's got classic lime margarita mix, lime salt. And then we've got a night at the movies at home. Okay, so what a fun gift this would be. Um So it's got, now what is this? Reversible hand stitch placemats. This is a great way to use up scrap fabric. You can add fringe, uh, dingle balls, ribbons, buttons, ruffles, simple piping, or any kind of accoutrements, accoutrement. All by myself, I don't wanna be to these adorable placemats. I don't know. This might be a stretch for me. I'm not sure why there's placemats in a night at the movies. To line the bowl. To put this gift together, start with a big popcorn bowl to pile in all the goodies. So I get it. You're gifting a bowl that is for the popcorn. But in that bowl, before you put everything in it, you're going to line it with this placemat. So you've got, it just looks nice. See what I mean? She's got me covered. I would have just plopped the stuff in a bowl and called it a day. So you're putting this placemat in there so that the bowl looks nice and it has some sort of gifting aesthetic to it. And then they've got a placemat they can use later on. How wonderful is that? Goober nets. So these are goobers plus raisinets equals goober nets. Two classic movie candies combined. Huh. Sweet popcorn topper. Oh, so we've got another seasoning in here. It's got vanilla powder, cocoa powder, sugar, vanilla powder. Love a sweet popcorn. Savory popcorn topper that's got dried shiitake mushrooms ground into a fine powder. I know this is going to be delicious then. Nutritional yeast, vegetable broth, powder, sea salt, garlic, onion, parsley, paprika, dill, wheat, oregano. How good does that sound? Popcorn. Let's talk about popcorn for just a second when we're talking about this popcorn bowl. So my new favorite, I played with nutritional yeast on popcorn for a long time, and I always was heavy-handed with it. I've now understood the magic is being in light-handed with it because just a little bit is just right. So now I air pop my popcorn, sprinkle of salt, little dash of nutritional yeast. Yum, 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 perfect. Also, did anyone have the dill popcorn by Tabitha Brown from Target? I'm hoping you're all saying yes right now as I took that pause because it was out of this world, mama, out of this world. So I need to come up with a dill. I saw that when I saw dillweed in this description here, I was like, ooh, I need a dill popcorn still since we don't have that Tabitha one. Limited time, honey. I hope you got out there and got your Tabitha goods. It was a limited time. The next gift basket is a pasta party. It's got all sorts of stuff in it. Roasted garlic. I don't know how you do that, but she says she keeps at least a jar full of roasted garlic on hand to use for garlic bread or on vegan pasta with steamed vegetables. Process is really simple and it makes for a very nice gift. I never would have thought of that. You put it in a jar. Look at that. Top with additional olive oil. That additional olive oil is going to be good for preservation. Rosemary infused olive oil. She's teaching you how to make some infused oils here. Italian spiced parmy sprinkles, sun-dried tomato, basil, and garlic pasta and pizza sauce. Oh, so you're giving them some homemade sauce? That's really great. Some pastas in there too. It's game time. She's got a game time one. It's got bar nuts in it. My pages are sticking together here. Bar nuts, spicy nacho popcorn topper, and tofu jerky. Come on now, getting into it. And then she's got a homemade pizza kit. Come on with the homemade pizza kit. I love that. A homemade pizza kit. So nice. Taco kit, a Taco Tuesdays kit. So really lots of great things beyond a standard gift basket in here. And I might even say something like Taco Tuesday might be like, you know, if you're going over to a friend's house for dinner or something, maybe you take that over. You say, listen, we got dinner covered. Let's all cook together. We've got a gift basket full of something fun. We're going to have tacos. We'll be over soon. Or you go for dinner at somebody's house and say, listen, you made dinner tonight. here's everything you need to make yourself's dinner another night of the week. Or maybe someone comes over to your house for dinner and then you say, oh, you like that vegan food? Oh, I like this. Oh, you like that vegan food? Here's a make it yourself taco kit. So you should make this later this week when you're home. Oh, that's tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay. Meaning you're tricking the non-vegans into eating your vegan food by giving them a gift basket for Taco Tuesday. Into it. All right, chapter 5 is jars full of goodness, jams, jellies, sauces, and other yummy stuffs in jars. Jams, jellies, sauces, infused oils, and all sorts of deliciousness, all neatly packaged in cutely labeled jars, perfect for gifting or for a little something different at the next vegan bake sale. Love that. No experience canning? That's okay. Step-by-step instructions are included here to help you get past your fears. As soon as you see how easy it is, you'll be canning everything. I've never canned. Have you? I've never been. Oh, she gives a nice breakdown on canning basics here. So great. Wow. Wow. We got pictures. We got a picture tutorial on canning here. This book is thorough. Thorough, mama. I didn't know it. So I guess it requires all this stuff for sterilizing and sealing the cans. I didn't even think about that. Wow. I'm not sure canning's my journey, but I do respect and appreciate what's happening here. We got classic strawberry jam, or of course I say that, and you never know. I might dive into it in a month and become obsessed. It's how I roll with food. I get hooked on something, and suddenly I'm like, wee. Plus, I do think it's a cool gift. We got orange basil marmalade here. Come on, lemon lavender curd, jalapeno jam, mango chutney, infused olive oil. So she's got a roasted garlic and peppercorn. I got a nose itch. Roasted garlic and peppercorn olive oil, sun-dried tomato, garlic, and basil olive oil. So yummy. And she says, gift it. She's got options for nice bottles in here for you to package it in so it looks all pretty and labels. SoCal salsa fresca. Spicy garlic dill pickles. Ooh, the recipe for the brine and the pickles. Oh, pickles. That's a fun gift, right? I really like that. David loves pickles. David loves the pickle. I like them too. I forget about them often. They're a nice, delicious, like low-cal snack if you need something. Coffee sip. Just me and my coffee. Hanging with everyone on the Keep On Cooking pod. Our oven now, our new oven has, when it reaches its temperature, it has this little noise where it goes do 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 do, and it stops there. But it sounds very much like an 80s sitcom to me. I always want to finish it out. Do 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 do. That's what's happening up here in this brand. There you go. California Chow Chow. Chow Chow is pickled relish made from a combination of vegetables. Growing up, my family always loved Pennsylvania Chow Chow, which was a bit sweeter than its traditional southern brothers. Well, this is California Chow Chow, a bit spicier, a tad sharper, and made with a California mix of cauliflower, carrots, and broccoli. More traditional versions include green beans, asparagus, tomatoes, and onions. Feel free to add those if you choose. The recipe below is for one 16-ounce jar, just the amounts to make as many jars as you wish, and just pick the pickles. And just like the pickles, it uses a 7.2% salt brine and requires refrigeration after 1 week fermentation. Look at that. I love all this. Very smart book, very well put together, very thoughtful and very thorough. And I will say, I've never heard of Chow Chow. I have heard of, this is reminding me of like in Chicago, the jardinera, like the peppers that are in the oil. Peppers and onion? I don't know. I could be getting it wrong. I don't want anyone in Chicago coming for me. Did I even say it right? Jardinera? Let me know. Slip into the DMs. Spinach and artichoke walnut pesto. Come on, I'm into it. Coconut curry simmer sauce. I love a good simmer sauce. Buffalo hot sauce. Yes, 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 yes. Sweet whiskey barbecue sauce. Oh, all these wonderful things to give in jars. Salted caramel sauce. It just keeps getting better. Red wine hot fudge sauce. Tell me you're not into that because I'm into that. You're into it too. Keeps getting better. Y'all remember that Christina Aguilera song when she released her greatest hits? Oh, just me and a microphone. Bless you all for listening. All right, last call. Chapter 6. That's the name of it. Last call. Homemade liqueurs, infusions, mixers, and more. Homemade liqueur gifts. Now, don't worry, we ain't talking moonshine here. More like infused vodkas, spiced rums, muy caliente tequilas, and sweet liqueurs. Also included are bar mixes such as simple syrups and cocktail mixers. There are a lot of recipes that call for spirits in this chapter, and many people are unsure whether spirits are vegan or not. And guess what? Sometimes they're not. Animal-derived ingredients such as isinglass, egg whites, dairy, and honey can sometimes find their way into adult beverages. Since most alcoholic beverages do not contain ingredient labels, it's hard to tell. I recommend visiting the fabulous website barnivore.com. I do believe I've been on there. I haven't drank in 5 years, so excuse me, I had a little sniffle there. I have not frequented it, but I do recall that website. They have done all the hard work for us and compiled a comprehensive list of alcohols from beers and wines to distilled spirits with information on whether or not they're vegan friendly. That isinglass, isn't that like, that's like fishy? It's like fish or something. Fish parts, fish eggs, isinglass. Am I making that up? You know, I have a little Google right in front of me. Let's look it up. Let's find out what isinglass is. There's someone out there just shouting it right now, being like, Dustin, it's this. A kind of gelatin obtained from fish. There you go. Look at me. I knew something. Golly, you'd think after all these years. How nice. I feel smart for a hot second. How lovely is that? All right, let's get into this chapter here. What we got? Simple syrups. I love a simple syrup. Strawberry simple syrup, orange simple syrup, and vanilla simple syrup. Sweet and sour mix. Grenadine, Grandma Nan's homemade Kahlua. Come on, Grandma Nan with the homemade Kahlua. Vegemeister. Now, is that like... It says Grandma Nan taught me how to make homemade Kahlua, and now I shall teach y'all how to make Vegemeister, my homemade version of Jägermeister. Oh, girl. I thought she said there wasn't no moonshine in here. That sounds mighty moonshiny to me. Mighty Moonshine. That'd be a good name for a moonshine. You can have it, anyone. I'm not gonna put it out on the market. Mighty Moonshine. You're welcome. And Bloody Mary mix. Come on, gotta have the Bloody Mary mix. And again, she's got on here, because there's a way to serve it and use the Bloody Mary mix. She's got a little recipe card on there that you can photocopy and print out. So smart. I love that in this book. I did not even realize. I've thumbed through this book so many times now because I'm so impressed by it. And I did not even realize she's got the blank pages up front with the recipe cards on it. But I did not realize she had actually broken it down per recipe to put a recipe card in there that you can literally photograph and then cut out. And there's little dotted lines to cut it and everything. So smart, Joni. Come on. Irish cream, muy caliente tequila con pimiente, holiday spiced rum with this cute little jar. These photos are so great. Eggless wassail, raspberry lime gin, vanilla mint vodka, ginger snap. So this is looks like a gin. Oh, gin, capital Gin, snap. So it's a gingery gin, essentially. And that closes out our book, everyone. That was Vegan Food Gifts. I've told you all the recipes that are in here. I hope you go buy yourself a copy. Vegan Food Gifts, more than 100 inspired recipes for homemade baked goods, preserves, and other edible, delectable, delicious gifts that, guess what? Everyone will love, vegan or non. Better for yourself, better for the animals, better for the planet. Get your hands on Vegan Food Gifts. I think this book is so charming, so delightful, and chock full of practical and fun gifts for anyone in your life. And also, I think the book makes a great gift, right? I mean, I don't know why. This book really warms my heart. I love it so much. Grab this book and get cracking at the top of November, and you'll be all set to make quite the impression come this holiday season when you're ready to gift everyone with your amazing DIY creations from this book, Vegan Food Gifts. Follow the author, Joni Marie Newman, on Instagram at Joni Marie Newman. I mean, I'm sure you've got one of her books on your shelf already because she has so many. You can get all the goodies you want of hers, including pick up the books. You can order them from her website and blog over at justthefood.com. And you can, of course, find me on Instagram at The Vegan Roadie, and also my website, veganroadie.com. And like I said, go grab yourself a copy of this book, Vegan food gifts, more than 100 inspired recipes for homemade baked goods, preserves, and other edible gifts everyone will love. Available at many online retailers and also in digital format. You can also check out the book section on Joni's blog. Like I said, justthefood.com to see what other books of hers might tickle your fancy, because she's got oodles and oodles of them, okay? But we'll get more into her library when she is a guest on the podcast later this year. Stay tuned for the Joni Mitchell Never Lies. Stay tuned for the Joni Marie Newman episode. I'm thrilled she'll be joining me to chat about her career and her books. Until then, keep on cooking. And hey, remember, it's nice to be nice. This has been a Muzzy Cat production.